MAGA in the House and Senate. Maybe you have not noticed, but Democrats flipped 30 Republican-held state legislative seats. Yeah, they're little gains, but Republicans flipped 0 Democratic-held state legislative seats during that same period. If you're asking only about state Senate seats, the number is smaller. Some of the notable Democratic flips include Pennsylvania Senate District 36, March 2025. Democrat James Malone flipped a Republican-held seat in a district Donald Trump had carried by about 15 points in 2024. Mississippi State Senate 2025 court-ordered special elections. Democrats gained 2 Republican-held Senate seats, reducing the Republican supermajority from 36 to 16 to 34 to 18.2026 special elections. Democrats have continued to flip a handful of Republican-held state legislative seats, including at least 1 state Senate seat, while consistently outperforming the 2024 presidential baseline in special elections. So the broad picture for 2025 to 2026 is 30 Republican state legislative seats flipped to Democrats, 0 Democratic state legislative seats flipped to Republicans. That pattern has drawn attention because Democrats have generally been outperforming their 2024 presidential vote share in many special elections, although special election results do not always predict general election outcomes. I lied, they mostly do. Mega whether you serve in the House or the Senate. Your first responsibility is to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law. Every vote you cast carries consequences for millions of Americans and for the integrity of our democratic institutions. This is very important. If there are serious questions about whether an executive action or proposed law is constitutional or lawful, it is your duty to examine those questions carefully, seek the facts, and act according to your oath, not simply according to party loyalty or political pressure. The American people expect their elected representatives to exercise independent judgment, provide oversight, and be accountable for their decisions. History often remembers not only the laws that were passed, but also the courage or lack of courage shown by those entrusted with public office. Every member of Congress is responsible for the votes they cast. Those votes become part of the public record, and voters ultimately decide whether their representatives have earned another term in office. The allegations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein continue to matter because they raise fundamental questions about justice, accountability, and the protection of children, maybe even your own children and vulnerable people. No victim of sexual abuse or exploitation should be ignored because of the wealth, influence, or political connections. Trump, who we know, is involved in not just rape. Every credible allegation deserves to be investigated thoroughly. Jim Jordan, Lindsey Graham Biggs, and Clarence Thomas, according to the law. The focus should remain on the victims and survivors, their dignity, their pursuit of justice, and ensuring that those responsible, regardless of their status or political affiliation, are held accountable through due process. A society demonstrates its values not by protecting the powerful, but by protecting those who have been harmed. Accountability, transparency, and equal application of the law are principles that should apply to everyone. Voters, the allegations connected to Jeffrey Epstein continue to resonate because they touch on some of the most serious crimes imaginable. The exploitation and abuse of children and vulnerable young people. Regardless of political affiliation, wealth, influence, or public office, every credible allegation deserves to be investigated thoroughly and fairly. Justice should not depend on a person's status, connections, or power. The people who deserve to remain at the center of this story are the victims and survivors. Their experiences should not be overshadowed by partisan conflict. They deserve to know that the legal system will pursue the truth wherever it leads, and that no one is above the law. Public trust depends on transparency, accountability, and due process. Those principles should apply equally to everyone, regardless of party, profession, or position.